field behind the plow. Turn to straight dark rows, feel the trickle in your clothes. Blow the dust cakes from your nose, hear the tractor's steady roar. No, you can't stop now, with a quarter section more or less to go.
Hey guys, we're back with White's Tractor Sales, and today we're going to be doing a video on our tractor of the month, which, as you can see, is an Oliver Super 66. So for the month of June, we went ahead and did a poll at the beginning of the month, and we asked you what your favorite tractor was out of a Massey Harris Pony, an Oliver Super 66, and a Farmall Cub. And the Super 66 won by quite a bit, actually. So we're going to go ahead and do a little video talking about the 66, the Super 66, and we'll go ahead and let you see us drive it around, start it up, things like that too. The gas, at least. The diesel over here, we don't have a battery in it, so I'm not going to mess with starting it today. So we're going to start off talking about the history of each individual tractor. So this tractor, it's a 1955 model, a mid-year serial number. So this tractor came from Tipton, Missouri, I don't know, several years ago. And actually, Dad bought it for my mom as an anniversary present. So this is her tractor. We bought this from the guy who restored it. So it's pretty fresh restoration, and he did a fantastic job on it. This is one of our parade tractors. We take it to a lot of shows and parades, and take it to the tractor pull every now and then. But it is a stock tractor. So that's the gas. The diesel over here. This tractor, if you follow the channel, you've probably seen it on our Will It Start last week. Yeah, that was last week. But anyway, you would have seen it on that video on that Will It Start last week. So we got it out, got it running, and runs great. Smokes just a little, but it's not too bad. But this tractor, we actually sold it before the video even came out. So it is going to a viewer down in Texas. So he did buy that from us. And this is a late model 55. So the Super 66 is actually pretty hard to find tractor. They were the biggest series. The 66 series was the biggest series of the four-cylinder Oliver tractors. So the Super 66 is the one that's right in the middle. The 66 was before, and the 660 came after. So the Super 66 came out in 1954 and was produced all the way until 1958. The 66s came out with a little bit different styling, and they had a different frame. The motor was a little different from the 66. The motor, instead of having a 3.3 bore like the Fleetline 66, the Super 66 has a 3.5 bore. So the motor is a little bit bigger, and actually that motor is actually the exact same thing as what's in a Super 55 Oliver, which also came out in 1954 with the introduction of the Super Fleetline series. The sheet metal styling, they had a different hood on them. They had a different side panel. On the Fleetline tractors, it was a full engine curtain, covered the entire engine compartment there. And the hood, they had a under the hood muffler, which kind of made it was offset from the exhaust manifold. So people would cut the hole out and put a straight muffler on them just like this. And that ruined a lot of hoods. Makes a good hood hard to find nowadays. But they did go ahead and change that with the Super Series. They just went ahead and put the straight line muffler on it. They made the hole for the exhaust straight out above the exhaust manifold. So they definitely upgraded there. The frame is different, and whenever I bring the camera over here, we'll look at that a little bit closer. But there's pads for implements because they were trying to fade out the pipe mount system, which they ended up not doing for a while after these tractors came out. So this tractor here, pretty well same story. The basically same changes up until the updated Super Series came out in 1957. That's when they went back to the red wheels instead of the green wheels. This tractor is painted correctly. This one obviously is not. Well, it's got green paint under the white that they painted on the wheels. The grill should be yellow in it. But this is how the Super Series should look. All of them except the mid 57s and until the end of production of the Super Series. And then whenever they got done with the Super Series, they painted the grill and the wheels white as a part of the 3-digit series with a 660. And the 660 wasn't styled up very much from what you see right here with the Super 66. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab the camera a minute, and we'll walk around these tractors individually, point out all their features, the options that came out on them, and just what made the tractor appealing to people who would buy the tractor back in 1954, 55, or whenever it was bought new. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and start with the gas tractor. So obviously it's got a wide front end under it. The Super 66 came out with 3 options for front ends. One was the adjustable wide front, which this one has. And as you can see here, it's very simple to adjust it. Just loosen that bolt and pull it out. It is not hard at all, but with these tractors being 70 some years old now, I'm sure it's not as easy as it was when they were new, but it's still pretty simple compared to what some of them were. So then the diesel over here, it's got the narrow front pedestal, which was pretty common on them. The wide front end was more of a rare option. The other option was a single front wheel, and I don't actually have an example of that because we've only got 2 tractors, and 2 tractors only have 2 front ends. But the single front wheel seems to be a lot harder variation to find. So then they also made weights for the Super Series to bolt on the front here, just like that. And we'll look over here at the diesel, and you can see the pad that they made. On the fleet lines, the front here, instead of having this flat plate on it, it was actually just rounded. But it is round, and they usually had the number, so this one would have 66 on it. But the Supers were made to bolt weights on. A lot of farmers did not put the money out to buy the weights, so those weights are very hard to come by. We got lucky enough to find this tractor with those weights on it, so we didn't have to worry about searching for those. So you can see there's the difference in the side panel, the engine panel. Now the frame was modified to add those pads on, just like on the front, and what that was actually made for was to bolt implements. You can see these round holes here, which I'm sure a lot of people, I know there's a boy that I know, he does a lot of tractor pulling with these Olivers, and he thought they were just made to chain the tractors down. But no, those were actually made to put pipe mount implements in, and what they were was a piece of pipe went in there in those holes, and you slid your implement on it. It was made to be a very, very easy setup, and I don't know, I've never actually messed with any pipe mount implements. I do own a set of cultivators and a planter for them, but haven't put those on. So I might do a video putting a set of cultivators on a 77 because I've been kind of wanting to try that. So you can see there's the belt pulley unit. Don't have a pulley on it, but yeah, it's got the unit in it. So the belt pulley unit was an option, and both these tractors were fortunate enough to have one on it. It was an option that the dealer came out, or that the Oliver Corporation came out and just made an option instead of making it standard like they did on the some previous models. Another thing was the wheel weights. Neither of these tractors have a set. The diesel does have one on it, but it's actually a case weight, so it's not correct. The 3-point hitch, that was also an option. And this one's got a heavy-duty one. I'm not sure if it's factory or not. I would assume it is because it looks very correct to it. But this one here, I know it's a factory 3-point. And they were an option. The hydraulics here, those were also optional. So it does have couplers on it. Actually, both these tractors have couplers on it. So there's a view down the hood of the gas tractor. You can see the dash here. They had gauges for your water temp, your charge or discharge, and an oil pressure gauge. All very nice. At the time, a lot of tractors came out without those. The serial number tag location on Super 66 is here on the dash. They moved them up there on the Fleetline tractors. They changed that. And you can see there, if you're not an Oliver guy, you probably ain't going to know about this. But it's the brake equalizer bar, which Oliver patented. So it's a very, very nice feature. I wish every brand, especially Massey Harris, would have come out with this. It just makes braking so much easier. As you can see, you can push down the middle one and you can push the bolt down at the same time. So the Super 66s did have a little bit of trouble with the clutch. You pushed it down too much, it would make noises and not work right. But that is a minor problem they had with them. Another option that they had was the lights, the rear light and the 2 front lights. And both of these tractors have lights on them. The other one is missing one light, but they were there at one point. And so there's a view of the other side here. And you can see that the exhaust manifold lines straight up with the exhaust pipe. So, or with the muffler. You can see there that the exhaust manifold lines straight up with the muffler. So that's very... Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about the diesel here. I did get cut short on the gas. I had a couple other things I was going to say, but the camera, well, my phone storage got full and I didn't get it all on tape. So had to go upload a video, and then we're good now. But anyway, so there's what the diesel motor looks like. I believe there is 4 different checkpoints for the fuel where it'll get filtered. The Oliver diesels were made to, be efficient, and I believe in the 50s, I think it was in 58 actually, they quoted this, that 90% of the diesel motored tractors in the field were Oliver. And the biggest reason for this is because John Deere, International, Caterpillar, they all still used pony motors. And the Oliver is a motor that starts on diesel and runs on diesel. It'll run on diesel all day long. No switching, no changing the fuel at all. So the Oliver diesels were just so much more efficient than most of the other companies that were on the market there in the 50s. So you can see another difference. They did have a different decal that said diesel on it. There's the belt pulley, what the actual pulley should look like. The other tractor, didn't have one. There's the case wheel weight I was telling you about. That is not the factory wheel weight for this tractor. We're actually going to take it off before it goes to Texas. But there's the Oliver cylinder, the true Oliver cylinder that all these tractors would have had on it when they were new. The other one does not have that. And you can see there, both tractors have this, the Oliver and the row crop cast in the axle housings there. So you can see that. On the restyled Super Series tractors in 57, they put a tack on them. And I believe this is the correct tack that would have been on a Super 66. I'm not sure if that was an option on them earlier or not, but I know they were standard on the later tractors. And you can see the gauges there. Those gauges have been replaced. 2 of them have. There's the hydraulic unit. Another thing that the Super 66s had, actually all the Olivers did during their production run during that time period, was hydroelectric. It was a hydraulic system that used electric power to run the hydraulics. I don't have much experience with it. I don't know anything about it. I do kind of know what it looks like. I haven't seen it on very many tractors, but yeah, if anybody knows anything about that, make sure to leave a comment. Educate some of us on that. So there's the view of the motor on the other side, and you can see there it's got the pads as well and the pipe mount holes. That was the standard frame for the Super 66s. So I don't believe I've said this yet. The Super 66s were only built in a row crop configuration. They were built with a single front wheel, narrow front end, and a wide front end, which I know I already talked about, but all 3 of them were a row crop variation. They did not make standards, they did not make industrials, they did not make high crops, they didn't make any sort of special deal with the Super 66s except road rollers. They made just a handful of road rollers each year, except for 54. They didn't make any in 54. But the Super 66 had no variation to it. One of the very few tractors that did not have variations like that. Especially in the Oliver world, Oliver was always good about providing lots of different options, but the 66 was offered in all those variations, but the Super 66 was not. So in 1957, when they restyled, and like I talked about, they painted the wheels red again. They added the tack to them. I know we saw that the diesel has a tack, but the gas does not have a tack. And these tractors are only about 7,000 serial numbers apart, all within the same model year. So I would say it was probably an option, or someone has added that from another tractor at some point. But the Super 66, they did change the hood again on them when they restyled them. So to get to the battery right now, on, if I don't fall off of here, on the early 66s, right there is your battery compartment. On the late ones, they did just like they did on the 660s, and they did a bolt-on panel there instead of the battery box with the lid on it. And so here's the 660 in case you guys haven't seen the other videos that this is in. Looks just like the Super 66s, just white wheels, white grill, different decals. I mean, nothing really much different about it. This one here is a gas, so it's very similar to the one with the green wheels over there. But you can see there's the battery box on it. See, the wheels are painted white. There's the 3-point, just like the diesel has on it. And this tractor don't actually have a drawbar on it. But there is the tack. The dash looks the same. And down the hood looks pretty well the same. I mean, they did not change very many things on the 660. But yeah, so that is the differences in the Super 66 and the 660. I would get the 66 out, but it's kind of hard to get out at the moment. So we're not going to look at it. I might take you down there and let you look at the Super 55, which Oliver owns. Ollie, the cameraman, who's not here when I film. So, but no, Ollie does a great job at filming. So just got to tease him a little bit. But might take you down there and let you look at his 55, which is pretty near the same as the Super 66s. And then we'll go ahead and we'll get the gas out. We'll start it. We'll drive it around a little bit. Kind of show you what it feels like to sit on a Super 66. So here's Oliver's Super 55. It's actually a third owner tractor. The man who bought it new, he used it as a car more than he did a tractor. So this tractor's been very well maintained. It's quite amazing little tractor. We do use it sometimes, but there's the fenders that the restyled Super Series had on them. This tractor, I believe, is a 58 model. 57, 58, I don't know. It's right there at the end of the Super Series. And they had those fenders on them like that with the Oliver name stamped in them. So that was an improvement, something that I guess looked cooler. It gave Oliver a reason to paint something else yellow, is what I know some people say. But this Super 55, unlike most of them, has red wheels from the factory. And as far as I know, we're pretty certain it is, but this is this tractor's original work clothes. So we'll get this tractor out and do some videos on it. And you can see there, the 55 was on the plate on the front. That's how all the Super Series should be. Of course, if the weights ain't covering it up. But that there is the exact same motor as what's in the Super 66. You can see the exhaust has changed. Most of the 55s, when they came out, they had the rear exhaust with a pipe that ran down here, down under the floorboard and out the back. They have made an aftermarket deal to attach a actual exhaust pipe to it, because these tractors a lot of times are used for hay raking tractors and things like that, and when you don't really want the exhaust going out the back risking catching stuff on fire. So yeah, so that's the fenders and the front decal there that I wanted to show you on this. I'll show you the motor over here. But yeah, it's supposed to be exactly the same motor as what is in the Super 66. guys, I think that's going to wrap us up today with the Super 66 Tractor of the Month for June 2023. So I just thought of this. I meant to say this earlier because this is kind of an important detail. But the Super 66 gas and diesel varied just a little bit on horsepower. The gas motor produced 22 horsepower on the drawbar, to where the diesel produced 21 horsepower. But this Super 66 gas here, we've taken it to several shows. It's been to the Gasconade County Threshers in Rosebud, which I'm planning to do some videos on this summer. That'll be the third weekend in July. Check them out, gcta.us. It's been there. It won the slow race there one year. It's been a good competitor there every year since. It's placed well in the tractor pull there. But this tractor has been there. We've had it at the St. James, Missouri Fall Festival, Grape and Fall Festival, in our parade. Always does well there. This tractor was actually on one of the small pictures on the inside of the back cover of the Orscheln Farm and Home calendar several years ago when we took it to that show. Actually, it and the Massey Harris Pacer both made it on there. The Pacer we have. Yeah, it's been a very good tractor to us. We've had it at those shows, several more actually, that I'm not thinking of right now. Oh, we had it at the State Fair, at the Missouri State Fair several years. Also planning on doing videos there. The Old and Wow Tractor Show is a big part of the Missouri State Fair. They let us parade the tractors throughout the entire fairgrounds one day. So we get to show off our tractors to everybody who is on the fairgrounds. The 200-acre fairgrounds, they let us drive through all of it. So that is very special. So go on to mostatefair.com, I believe, and check out the Old and Wild Tractor Show and see what it takes to get there. Because we're always looking for new iron to look at up there, and those people, they love seeing the 100+ tractors and equipment drive through up there at the State Fair. So definitely consider going to those shows. And if you want more information, we'll have it in the link. We'll have the links in the description below. Or you can contact us directly from our contact information on whitestractorsales.com. So also, while I'm talking, if you're still listening, I'm sure a lot of you turned me off, but if you're still listening, we've got new inventory on our website, lots more literature, lots more parts. Alice Chalmers, Farmall, Massey, Oliver, John Deere, Avery, Case, Moline, you name it, we've pretty near got it. So go on over there, check us out, see if we got what you need. If not, tell us what you need, and we'll keep our eye out for it and let you know if we find it. So again, thanks for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment below, and make sure to share this video with your friends. And so thanks for watching, and God bless you.